All right, so at this point I put together all the content that I needed for my page. I set up the page elements, all the HTML5, the basic document structure. I think at this point I'm ready to start doing some styling for my page. So before I jump into adding any CSS, my own CSS in here, I want to start with a CSS reset. And when you look into CSS resets, especially for HTML5, you got to kind of use something new. You got to use an HTML5 CSS reset. And the one that I found that I like, a lot of good ones out there, including the Eric Myers is one of the most popular ones. But my complaint with some of them is that they reset everything. Like they'll make like the H1 header, it'll reset it to be like the same size as my paragraph text, like everything be 16 pixels. And although it's useful, it kind of like you're basically stripping away any default style and making you the author reapply it explicitly. uh, I think it's sometimes a little bit too much and it adds effort to me. So there is a cool new CSS reset that's pretty popular, and it's called Normalize.css. And oh, look at that! I didn't even see that it comes up in a CDS through a CDN. But let me just show you. Normalize CSS. Uh, well, it kind of speaks right to what I'm saying over here. Is that it's a bit too, other CSS resets are a bit too extreme, resetting everything for me. And this one kind of keeps certain styles that are considered useful, right? That's a subjective term. The author of Normalize.css is a subjective view on what's useful. But I think that it does some good stuff. Like, and here, if you go to, once you Google it and you go to his to the demo page at GitHub, if you click on the demo, this is what it's basically preserving. Like, I like this. I like the fact that the headers are still they still have some relative sizing differences, and that certain, if I go down here, you know what? I want a bulleted list or an ordered list to be slightly indented and not necessarily be pushed all the way to the left. I mean, so this kind of stuff, he's saying useful. I'm saying I agree, so I'm gonna implement it. Just as simple as that. And actually, even more interesting is I have some options here. First, I could take this file. Well, here I'm looking at the demo. I'm just going to look at the source, and here is his URL. And if you're using like Chrome or Firefox, it'll actually link to it when you click it. Here it is. I click save, and then I could just pop that right into the folder that I have, where I have my own folder. I'll just copy this. And here would be one way of doing it, right? I'm just adding the file directly to mine from a downloaded version. But because Normalize is a pretty popular one, I bet you we could CDN. Let's see if we find it somewhere. Well, anyway, I'm sure if you dig around, you may be able to find somebody hosting this thing on a CDN that you could link to directly. Although, depending on what CDN it is, you should be careful, right? I mean, if it's like Google or Microsoft or maybe even jQuery or something, you could probably you could feel a little more secure that it's always going to be there. But if someone's just posting it on there through their private site, um, I don't know. You don't know what there, if today it could be there, tomorrow it could be gone. So if you're going to use the CDN version of it, use it with care, and just consider the source that you're using it. So, all right, let's see. Normalize is in there. Here's my link. Beautiful. Actually, interestingly, you may see that the type is missing over here. The type text CSS. From what I understand currently, HTML5, they're encouraging you not to use that, just less code. So let's forget it, and we'll just leave it out and keep our code, lean and mean. And here's what the page looks like before I implemented this reset, and I'm about to refresh it. I could tell you one of the most obvious things you'll see is that this border over here that I didn't set, that's kind of separating it from the page, is going to get eliminated, and that it did. And that's fine because I am going to end up applying that kind of stuff later on my own. So, all right, CSS reset set. Time to move on.